What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? The name is Matt and I am back with another video. And for this video, it's another tutorial video. I'm going to show you guys how to set up RetroArch, which is one of my favorite emulators to use for playing retro games, and it's mainly the emulator I use all the time for my Classics Night videos as well as my Twitch streams as well. And yeah, make sure, before we get started, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel, and also show some love in the comments below. And yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into how to set up RetroArch on your PC. Let's go. Alright, so to make this tutorial more easier, I put some links in the description like I did before in my Flash Player tutorial, how to set it up and install it on your computer. Go watch that if you like. And first off, we're gonna head on to this website, RetroArch.com. Link is in the description. And of course, we're gonna go to download. And now RetroArch is basically a multiple console emulator. You can emulate arcade games. You can emulate Atari, Sega Genesis, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega CD, PS1, PS2, Dreamcast, you name it. Almost any retro gaming console you can think of, this emulator's for you, if you like to use it. So of course we're using PC, so we're gonna go ahead and hit click on the installer here. Installer, if your computer is 32-bit, click on this one. And of course, it's also available for Linux and also Mac OS, Android. And you can also set it up on your jailbroken Nintendo Switch, PS Vita, and your Wii and Wii U as well. You have to jailbreak them first, like install any a homebrew channel or whatever. And there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, and I haven't done that yet. So go watch a YouTube tutorial of how to jailbreak your console, your Wii U or whatever. Cause for now, I may have that in the future, tutorials of how to do that, but for now I don't. So I'm very sorry about that. Anyways, you're gonna click on the installer on PC, and then of course follow the instructions. Once the installer starts, it's gonna take a few seconds to download first, and not to mention my computer's 64-bit. So and of course click on it, and then just follow the instructions. Now I already have RetroArch installed, so just go ahead, just like I said, follow the installation wizard instructions and all that. So we're gonna skip the installation since I already have it. And once you have RetroArch installed, go ahead and click on it. It should be right on your desktop. If you choose to leave a shortcut on your desktop, it's a little Space Invader alien, and it's gonna take a few seconds to open up. And here we have RetroArch. As you can see, it has a cool user interface menu. This is the main menu. And it's a pretty cool, pretty sleek interface. And before you play any game, of course, you have to tell RetroArch to tell where the games are at. So go on to the settings here. Click on settings, and then you're gonna go to directory. We have to set the directory to the game. So, and I already have it set here. Now click on file browser, and then go to wherever you stored your games and stuff. I already have it stored. And then once you've done that, you go back, and then before you play any game, this is extremely important. Listen, guys, you have to have what's called a core, which is actually the version of how do I explain this? A core, which is the actual emulator based on this program. of what you need to play that kind of game. For example, if you have a Sega Genesis game, you need a Sega Genesis core for RetroArch in order for it to play it in this program. So what you do is, and I hope I'm explaining this right, so what you do is you're going to go to load core, and then I already have my cores installed, and then if you have internet access, this is extremely important, you're going to go to download a core, and then it's going to fetch the core list from RetroArch's website. And then you have a lot of cores to choose from. You have, of course, Atari, Arcade, you know, MAME, the arcade emulator, the MAME emulator. You have Atari 2600, 5200, Atari Jaguar, Lynx, and also Commodore Amiga and Commodore 64, which, of course, you guys know. You could also play DOS games here, you know, those old computer games like Doom or whatever. You could play that too as well. And then also you could play PC Engine, you could play MSX Computer, ColecoVision, and MSX is it's an old computer made in the 1980s, which is a very cool computer. It could play a lot of 8-bit graphic games. Anyways, you can also emulate the DS, Game Boy. You have your Nintendo stuff, NES, Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. You have your Sega emulators, Dreamcast. So click on whichever one you like to download. You can also emulate Sega Saturn as well. And you can also you can also download multiple cores as you like. So just click on one by one, see which one you like. And yeah, so once you've done that, you're gonna click on a core. So for example, let's go to load core, and then let's emulate a Game Boy game. So we're gonna click on the Game Boy core, which is based on VBA-M, which is a Game Boy Advance emulator. It also plays original Game Boy games. So if you guys like Pokemon just like me, that's the emulator for you. And it could also emulate Nintendo DS as well. So we're going to go to wherever we stored our games at. Of course, I've organized where my games. This is the Game Boy games, and we're going to test out. Let's see. Let's test out, and we're going to test out a Game Boy game, Game Boy Advance. Let's test out Namco Museum, which is one of my favorite games. And there we go. That's basically how you run a game, install RetroArch, and run a game on that emulator, which is pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And also, before we go, I want to show you guys, let's emulate another game before we end this video. Let's emulate the Nintendo. Let's do Double Dragon, of course, another one of my favorite Nintendo games. And it's gonna automatically fire up RetroArch's Nintendo NES core, which is based on this one, FCUMM, another Nintendo emulator, Nintendo NES. Also, it could also emulate the Famicom Disk System as well, which is an add-on to the Japanese NES, the Famicom. It was known as the Famicom in Japan. So, and yeah, that's pretty much how you use RetroArch, and that's pretty much how you can get all the games running. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys find this tutorial very helpful. As always, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and also show some love in the comments below. There'll be more videos coming up, and with that, I must say, peace out and game on.